Today we're going to remove the main board on a 32-inch television. Before we get started, we're going to make sure we have a Phillips screwdriver and a pair of pliers, and it's a good idea to have 5 cups for the various screws that we'll be removing. The first cup we're going to use is going to be for the perimeter screws. There's a total of 12 of them on the 32-inch, and as you get larger to 37 to 42 inches, there's going to be more support screws, so that will change. The second cup is going to contain the 3 screws in the center here. 2 will hold the MPI, and then there's an additional one for support, and those go again here. The third set of screws are going to be the rounded screws, and those are going to be supporting the various components. So you have 2 for the HDMI and 1 each for the component and composite cables. Once you remove all these screws, you can lift the back cover, set that over to the side. Okay. Now that we have the back cover off, you can see the rest of the television that's exposed. This is what we're going to be changing out. It's the main board, and this is the MPI where the card goes into, and you have the power supply and inverter combination. This will vary from television to television, even within the same model number, in the same model year, depending on the configuration. Sometimes you'll have them combined, sometimes you'll have 2 inverters on either side. This one is a longer one with a separate power supply. The first thing we're going to do is remove the MPI card. And there's going to be 2 screws for that, one up here and then the other one halfway on the other side. Once you remove those 2 screws, you lift and place the MPI card slot on the other side. And then you're going to put those screws in the 4th cup right here. The next thing you can do is remove all the perimeter screws that hold the shielding, and there's going to be a lot of them, about 16 of them, and that's going to change. That's going to stay the same from model to model. And once you remove all those screws, you're going to put them again in the same 4th cup right there. Before you do anything else, you want to go ahead and remove. This is a conductive tape, and you just want to go ahead and remove it. Once you take it out, it's really hard to attach it again. And just go ahead and remove it, because in the instance that it comes loose and it encounters a position like this right here, you will short your power supply and could damage your main board in addition to the power supply. So it's a good idea just to go ahead and remove those. Okay, the next thing you're going to do after removing the 16 screws is you have 2 support hardware pieces right here, and this is what you would put your cable into to secure it once you have the back cover on. Those you're going to want to remove, and you do that with a pair of pliers. Just loosen them, and then you can just unscrew them with your thumb there. Once you have that out, now you can remove the shielding. You can slide it right out, it comes off, and here's your main board that you're going to remove. The first connector that we're going to remove is this T-con connector. You're going to hold the cable in this position, squeeze both ends for the release, and push up with both hands. Just like that. And you set that over to the side. Next thing you can do is remove all the connections. And these have little spring tabs or clips. You can just squeeze and pull. And you can do that all the way around. And once you have those removed, you want to go ahead and take your antenna cable off. Okay. And once you have everything removed, set them back here. You can go ahead and take your main board off. You don't want to hold the bracket down here. Okay. This is what we're going to change out. So once you receive one from us, you can just reseat it and start to put all the cables back in place. Every cable has a different connector, different size connector, so you won't get those mixed up. Okay. And once we have everything connected, this one is blank, there's nothing goes here. Don't want to forget this T-con. Align it and add equal pressure, and then you want to run your antenna cable. Make sure this is not trapped underneath because you're going to have to put the cover back on. Everything is set. Now we're going to reassemble our shielding, and you want to kind of slide it underneath the cables without pinching any cables. You don't want to have anything trapped inside. Once everything is seated and you don't think you have a good connection, you want to go ahead and reassemble your 16 screws, working back. You want to go ahead and start with these right here, these supports. Then you work with the 16 screws. Don't worry about the screws that go in this position. These you'll attach. These are the ones you removed when you took the back cover off. They come in at the very end. And now that you have 16 screws in and you have the supports in, you want to put your MPI car slot in, 2 screws right here, and then reassemble your back cover. This little piece comes off. You gotta be careful. Make sure that's seated properly, right in place. That gives you support when you put your pedestal mount. You set everything in, everything's seated, and then work backwards again. You got your 6 screws. You put those in, and then you have your 3. You have your 2 for your MPI, 1 for your support, and then the last one, which is your perimeter screws. You put all those in, you're ready to go. You just change out the main board successfully. Yeah, thank you.